Hi everyone, you've got Britt and Bailey here. It's actually daytime, and that's very weird for us. Normally we record these at night, but yeah, we're really excited because we're about to do our live reaction to season 2, episode 2 of For All Mankind, called The Bleeding Edge. So sounds ominous. But yeah, as a recap, on the last episode, we opened the season with kind of a pretty significant solar storm. And that was intense. And of course, Molly was trying to, rescue one of her fellow crewmates. So we're really interested to see the aftermath of that, given that both of them just had like massive radiation doses. So probably not a good outcome. I don't know, Bailey, what do you think?
I'm worried for them, both of them. Yeah, it's not looking good. I will say I thought about it because we've had a little bit of a gap, and I thought about it, and I'm very upset with the storyline of Tracy and Gordo. I'm really curious to see where that goes because I do not like the direction of that.
Yeah.
I'm holding that very dear to my heart. So.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you. We ended on such a high note in season 1. They were definitely like one of my favorite couples. And now I feel like it's a total gut punch and they're not together. And so that makes me sad. In general, I don't know about you, Bailey, but I'm kind of struggling with like the passage of so much time because I feel like we like missed out on a lot of, parts of their lives that I would have liked to have seen. But I understand why the show did it. So I get that. And as a benefit to that, we are getting to see the advancement of all the, sort of space exploration, space tech that's going on at this point now that they're in the 80s. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, should we go ahead and get started?
Let's do this.
2 hours, 45 minutes. I waited.
You made the right call, Molly.
So she lied?
Will it be okay?
That's why she left her band in the cave.
That was really smart of her, to be fair.
Yeah.
Once you're recovered, you'll come back up. 6 months, a year tops.
And what about?
She'll never come back, though.
No.
He's never coming back.
She knows it, too.
An American astronaut and a Soviet cosmonaut coming together to share a common purpose with a handshake in space.
There you go.
Oh! But if we're going to do space, right? That's part of humanity, right?
No, this is true.
The gross side, but...
I just don't like how skeptical everyone is being right now of each other, like politically. It's just very...
Yeah.
It's like maybe they'll accept the handshake,
Yeah, can't wait.
Why are you assuming they'll smack it away?
Good. Don't be too good to him.
So, for my crew, we were like all hugging and stuff. What is this handshake? Like, we were way closer than a handshake.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like you'd be a little bit more bonded than that, but...
The liquor cabinet.
Yeah.
Oh. She could just never get enough of space. She'd just stay there forever.
I'm scared that's gonna be me, honestly. I'm never coming home.
Why?
What?
I want to go back.
Back where?
Jamestown.
Yes! I'm here for it! This was touching on some stuff for me of this whole, like, fake Instagram thing, right? Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No. Once again, if we're saying space is for everyone, for really for everyone, all the bad parts of humanity goes up too, but I wish we could keep them here on Earth.
This is making me like very uncomfortable watching this.
Me too.
Wayne.
I feel sick for her.
Oh. Wayne looks good. I feel like the other guys kind of didn't age so well. I feel like Wayne.
But Wayne didn't really age. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your passion. We're gonna need it in the fights ahead.
Okay, now that we're agreed on cutting.
Yes and no.
Now can we push
It does make me wonder if this something like that's gonna kind of happen when we start like doing more on the moon. Is then if like unforeseen costs get paid for by like just pushing out Mars.
Excuse me for 1 second.
Yeah. I'm sure it will, honestly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. Yeah.
I'm like not loving this like retired astronaut golfing phase. Like I'm like this seems really like anticlimactic after their careers in space.
Well, that's a big topic is what do you do after you come back from space, right? Like what do you do? Like
I mean, I can say pretty definitively for me the answer is not golf.
That's fair.
2 more months?
I think it's so cute that the two of them became good friends.
Oh, wait, yeah. Kill it.
Good friends. Yeah, I agree.
It just makes me sad because it's like I feel like they just drifted apart, but like they could have been, you know.
The it couple, yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes it's hard
It didn't
to
have
course
to end this
correct.
way.
So sad.
Come on.
It's so hard. Like, and
on,
it's the thing. Like,
Get up,
you know,
get up.
astronauts probably feel this way all the time, right? Like, they have to be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, as much as we're sad about like Tracy and Gordo like not being together, I also feel like Gordo has to figure this out for himself first. You know what I mean? I don't think you can be
No,
in
I
like a
agree.
healthy relationship if you're this like until you kind of come to terms with like yourself first.
Yeah. But it kind of begs the question, so they were together before he had this, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's like, do you stick by that? Because, like, you don't get to control when someone else, like, it's not like when you get married, you don't ever have issues again.
Yeah.
You don't lose yourself. So should she have, like, stuck by him? Or, like...
I think it's a tough call. I mean, I think you want to obviously be supportive, but if somebody's not helping themselves, you can't, you got to live your life too.
You don't give up, Wubbo. You keep fighting.
This is not.
Wow.
Sorry you feel this way, Molly.
Yeah, it's like, that's not really your call. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
And it says a lot about why she's acting the way she is,
Yeah, 'cause
right?
she's
That's
scared.
how she sees herself.
Yeah,
too.
no, I know. She's like acting out, but he wasn't, that's not nice to do to him because obviously, you know, he's making the decision like, I've got 2 years to live. What am I going to do?
Danielle Poole will be joining the crew of STS-83 Romeo.
Hey!
Congratulations. Captain Gordo Stevens will be joining her.
Although, like, okay, if I were Danny, I'd be like, am I going to have to save his butt again?
Say this again.
Like, yeah, I mean, really, like,
I'd be like, bro, I need you to focus.
yeah.
Congratulations, Captain.
I'm not going back up yet. I can't. You know I can't. Wow. That's not up to you. I decide who goes up.
So I'm confused though. So like, was Gordo all this time still in the astronaut program?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
Because it's not. I mean, Ed can like, yeah, he decides who goes up, but he can't just like force somebody to go to space.
It's true. It's true. I think it's one of those like Gordo is having a refuse to the call of adventure kind of thing, and he needed that push. But also, if he doesn't want to go up, he shouldn't, right? Like that's how you break someone.
Yeah, Gordo looks terrified.
It's just one of those. Is it helping him, pushing him, challenging him, or is it going to break him?
Yeah.
Wow. I will say it was a lot happier, less stressful than all the other ones recently. So that was nice. That was a nice thing.
Yeah, it definitely was like for sure less stressful. But I feel like this episode in particular was teeing up a lot of the season. Like, so I feel like there was a lot more. Like the first episode, we really didn't get a ton of like insight into what was going on with a lot of these people. So now I feel like we have a little bit more insight, which is really helpful. But I feel like in the way that people kind of handle trauma, there's like people who try to like face their fear really like head on. And then I feel like there's other people that like just don't want to revisit it ever again. Like they just can't go back to that place. So I feel like Ed's the kind of person who clearly would rather face it head on, but is Gordo. Like, do you think Ed made the right call, or do you think he should just leave Gordo alone?
That's a really good question. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. For me, it depends on when this mission is. If this mission is like in a month, and it's like Gordo has a month to sort through what's going on, to get back into shape, to being an astronaut, to basically prepare for this, that's not enough time. If it's down the line and it can be like a goal he works towards, I would say it was a good call. And part of it, a lot of it is you do need someone to push you like that. And I do think fundamentally, I think it was a good call because I think people need something to work towards to push them to be that better thing. But you're right, there's a lot of other contingencies here of like, you know, how bad is Gordo? How soon is the mission? What, you know, what
Yeah.
can be done? Like,
There's definitely a lot of question marks. Like, and then I'm also like, is this really fair? Like, this is Danny's like return mission. And then it's like, I kind of feel like Ed made the decision to have them go together because he feels like Danny's gonna look out for Gordo. But like, should that be a burden that Danny has to bear? Probably not.
I mean, it depends, because she did not seem super shocked by the news, so my assumption would be that, like, Ed talked to her, because she seemed like she knew what was coming, honestly.
I don't know. I feel like Ed did not. I feel like Ed just like acted unilaterally on this one.
Well, she didn't seem that shocked. Like, he seemed shocked, and she just kind of, like, looked at him and smiled, right? Like, maybe it's her playing cool. I don't know. To me, the vibe I got was that she knew that this was happening, and it could be that she didn't. Either way, I can tell you that, like, I don't know, from, like, I'm just, you know, using my crew from High Seas, I would not feel that way about any of them. Like, it would be, if any of them were like, let's do a mission, I would be ecstatic, right? Like, it's just a different bond. So, and for me personally, if it was something like she needs to help him and stuff like that, I wouldn't see it as a burden. It's about the boundaries that she sets up of, like, how much does she help him. But yeah, that's interesting for sure. I agree that it was kind of like Danny's chance to fly, and just kind of piggybacked Gordo onto it. So that's a little, it's one of those, if Danny's cool with it, then I love the storyline, but if it was like Ed trying to force them together, that's not as cool, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out in the next episode, but yeah, I mean, I feel like there's definitely like a lot being teed up right now. Obviously, I'm also curious to see what happens with Molly. Like, I feel like there's going to be massive. Yeah.
That's like, and she's going to, like, remember what I was saying? Like, everyone has a breaking point. And honestly, we haven't seen Molly break, but I think what will break her is this whole, like, she's out of control now. Like, you know, like her future is out of her control. Like, it's up to the hands of, you know, the cancer coming in, her not being able to go to space. I think this is going to be her breaking point. I think she's going to break sometime because of what's happening now, is my guess.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And I think it's like, it's really interesting because, you know, I mean, obviously, like, we're seeing this recurring theme happen. Like, that's clearly, like, coming through loud and clear. Like, what happens to an astronaut when they're no longer really an active astronaut? And it's not always so glamorous, right? No. So I feel like we saw all the glamour in season 1, and now we're kind of seeing the reality of back to Earth, you know?
And that's something you can look at astronauts today, right? There's plenty of astronauts that, you know, they do different things. Some of them write books and go on tours and stuff like that. Some of them go into politics. Some of them stay at NASA and try to help the next generation. There's a lot of different things. And some of them go crazy. Like, some of them go crazy, honestly. And so I think it's one of those things that's like, it depends on how you handle that, right? It was actually something I was talking to Cyan about, of like, you came back from space, what's next, right? And she was like, for me, it was just another adventure. It wasn't like my life goal leading up to this. So if I can go back, cool. If I can't, whatever. And I thought that was she's like, I'm going to keep doing me. I thought that was a really good way to look at it.
Yeah, no, I think that is a good way to look at it. And I think, like, you have to kind of know going in, like, how you feel about it, or like what your end goal, or like, I don't know. I mean, in some ways it's kind of like retirement in general, right? Like, you want to you want to have a plan. Like, you want to know what you're going to be doing, because you don't just want to go into that blindly. So
I got one more thing.
Yeah.
Tracy. So she's still an active astronaut.
Yes.
That's wild. And that whole thing, I'm so curious to see how it lines up, because she was like, oh, I'm putting the publicity side of things above my astronaut training right now. And that, like, for me, coming from my point of view, like, your mission comes first, right? So if your mission is publicity, go do the publicity. If your mission is space comes first, and then you do the other stuff on the side. Like, I don't know. That was an interesting one for me.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more going on with Tracy and Gordo this season. So
I have a feeling you already know that we'll be seeing that, so I'm excited.
I know season 3 is gonna be wild, because I'm not gonna have this advantage. I'm not gonna have this advantage of knowing what's coming. And Bailey, you might actually see for the first time, like, how emotional I can get watching this show.
Yay! You don't have any, like, filter. You don't have the chance to, like, go through it firsthand and by yourself. Equal playing field. I love it.
I know, yeah. People probably think I'm like really like, yeah, super composed. Yeah, but no. All right, well, season 2, episode 3 next. Wow, we are making some ground here. So that's coming up soon. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you, Bailey, as always. Great to react to these videos with you. And yeah, we'll see everybody next week.